Good evening, and welcome to another episode of The Take here on the College Football Mafia Network. Tonight I am joined by Becky Go Huskies, and Sergeant Pickles could not make it tonight. He had a previous engagement, so Bomber is filling in tonight.
For just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Not all night.
We're less than 24 hours removed from the college football playoff rankings reveal. We're going to break it down tonight and talk a little bit about this and ask the question, is the college football playoff committee gaming the system against themselves? Is this a setup? Is this merit-based or is this ratings-based? Let's find out. Let's start off with, I'm just going to pull up the top 25 as it was revealed last night. Of course, Ohio State is number one, where they should be, followed by Indiana, Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, BYU, Texas Tech, Oregon, Notre Dame, Texas, and Oklahoma, rounding out the top 12, followed by Utah, Virginia, Louisville, Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, Miami, USC, Iowa, Michigan, Missouri, Washington, Pittsburgh, and Tennessee. What stands out there most for you, Bomber?
I said my stuff all last night. Let's let Becky go.
Okay, Becky, what stands out most to you?
The SEC and the Big Ten are definitely, they're in great position to have the bulk of the bids as this thing ramps up here. All the 1-loss and 2-loss teams are just eventually all those 1-loss teams, some of them are going to become 2-loss teams. I think the big thing that sticks out is there's a 2-loss team in the SEC that could get in as a 3-loss team. So, that might happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously for me, I know Bomber's going to say Notre Dame at 10. And I'm going to tell you I'm not shocked at all. I'm actually a little shocked that they're not higher. I figured they'd be at 9. Just because they've got that Notre Dame, the skid has been greased for Notre Dame, and it'll continue to be greased. I was a little shocked by Utah going up to 13, especially leapfrogging a 1-loss ACC Virginia. You would have to think, if you're an ACC fan today, you can't be happy with this. And speaking of Notre Dame is probably going to take one of the slots from the ACC this year.
Yes.
And that is somebody you have an agreement with, an alliance with, whatever, however we want to do it. Yes, Sean, we're going to talk about Notre Dame because it's important. It matters, especially if you're an ACC team that's like Miami, who actually has a win over Notre Dame.
Yup.
And could essentially get left out for Notre Dame, who they beat. I don't know. That's what stood out to me most. Notre Dame and Utah. I'm a little shocked that Notre Dame was at 10 instead of 9. I'm also a little shocked that Oregon fell that far, but I understand. Their schedule significantly took a hit when Penn State kind of went to Shitsville. So I wasn't super shocked that they went down, but for them to drop, I believe they were 6 in the AP poll and they're 9 in the college football playoff rankings, was a little surprising to me, especially considering their losses to number 2 Indiana. And it wasn't like it was a blowout game by Indiana. They won by 2 scores, but it wasn't like it was a blowout.
I mean, it's not to me so much because I think at some point, I think they're saying 9 and 10 are eye test. Based on the coaches in the room, because I mean, Oregon's best win is 5-3 Northwestern. That's it.
Yeah.
That's their best win. And after that, their next best win is Rutgers or Montana State. Their schedule is not good, and it's not their fault. Oregon State, a lot of people like myself thought Oregon State would be one of the top G6, teams, and they tumbled. My thing on Notre Dame is you're going to sit here and tell me that Notre Dame, who lost to number 3 A&M by a point, but trailed Miami basically by 2 scores throughout, belongs at 10, while Texas has a win over the number 12 team. Granted, their loss is to Florida, but like, Florida's got more talent than half the teams Notre Dame has played. And the other question was, Virginia's at 14. Their best win is number 15 Louisville. So it doesn't make sense to me that Miami is so low, Utah's so high, and Notre Dame is sitting in the top 10 and they've beaten nobody. I mean, Notre Dame's best win is USC. It's the worst win out of all of those teams I mentioned.
I will say this. I think Miami's actually helped by Notre Dame being 10. I think that leaves room for Miami to go up. But I was really kind of shocked, too, to see them fall to 18. Because, I mean, neither one of their losses were really terrible losses. You lose to Louisville, yes. You lose to SMU. It was kind of a crazy situation there with some of the officiating. But, we've all got to overcome officiating hurdles, regardless of what conference you're in.
Yeah, like every conference hates their officials right now. They're all bad. There isn't a conference with great officials. That doesn't exist.
Now, let me ask you a question, Nate. You're a BYU guy, obviously. Is 7 fair?
I was happy with 7. I think. Look, you guys have already said all the smart stuff. I said this for an hour and a half last night, doing the actual reveal show we did. And we'll do it every week now, going the rest of the season. Look, at the end of the day, this is an overreaction. It's just like our politics, and I don't like talking politics and religion and all these other things, but this is such an overreaction to what happened last year with the ACC versus the Big 12. It swings wildly. Who was the leader of the pack, the 12-team playoff committee, whatever it is, last year? It was the AD or president of Michigan, right? This year, who do you have? You have Mac Rhodes, who's the AD of Baylor. The system is broken. Now, you can make an argument this is the fairest CFP we've ever seen. I think you can say that, except for Notre Dame. But I mean, it's just, come on. This swings so wildly beyond perspective. I love that Big 12's up, obviously, right? I love BYU being 7. They're going to play Texas Tech, and we'll find out who's better. But that'll all sort itself out over time. Teams like Utah are going to need a lot of things to happen for them to move up, but it's not impossible. Just being 13 by itself doesn't guarantee anything. I think you're both right that the Big 10 and the SEC have room to move. I think both of them have teams that are 1 loss or sitting at barely 2 losses that will move up into that top 12. But at the end of the day, we know 2 things. We know, 3 things. We know Notre Dame is going to get the benefit of the doubt every time. 2 losses, we were all saying week 3 or week 4, whatever that was, they're out, right? There was all these articles, Notre Dame's out, and that's obviously not the case. We knew it wasn't the case at the time. So besides Notre Dame, we've also got the guaranteed spots, and the G6 gets 1, and the ACC is going to get 1. And those spots currently right now are supposed to go to Texas and Oklahoma. So there's a lot to get done by December. What is it, 7th, I think? 4th, something like that, whenever the last poll is. A lot of room to move, and teams will sort themselves out. But if there's really anything that comes out of it, it has to be Notre Dame. It just has to be, in my opinion. Miami beat them. And so you win 6 games in a row. You're rewarded for that. It's kind of like Utah stats when they pad on teams that honestly can't defend themselves and just run up the score. Does that matter? I don't think it should. I don't think Notre Dame should be rewarded for that. Is all I'm saying.
Here's my question, but here's what I'm getting at, Bomber. What loss does BYU have on their schedule?
Well, they don't have any.
Okay, so you've got 3 SEC teams with a loss.
Yeah.
And Alabama's loss to a Florida State team that we've come to find out was clearly not as good. We won't get into the transitive property with Georgia. But here's my point. Why is BYU at 7 behind Ole Miss, Georgia, and Alabama?
I think the stats actually say they're supposed to be 4 or 5. I've read several articles in the last 24 hours to say there's.
And this is what gets me to my main question, and we'll say hello to people coming in here in a second, but this is getting me to my main question. Is this just all set up? Is Texas Tech being ranked number 8 set up simply to give them some kind of rationale to jump BYU up to number 4? And if BYU wins this game and doesn't jump up to number 4, you got to ask yourself what the problem is that an undefeated Power 4 is behind 3 SEC teams.
I everything you just said, I agree with. I think if it was BYU, it would have to play very well, but if they beat Texas Tech, in my opinion, they should be in the top 4 or 5. I agree with that. I also think that if Texas Tech wins, that is a made-for-TV game Saturday morning, right?
That's my point.
It's ABC, of course, and ESPN, and we know how they're connected with the college football playoff. They're all interrelated. It's incestuous at times. I have to believe this is a made-for-TV football game, and I'm super excited for it. I don't really care. It doesn't. I don't care how we got here. I'm glad we did.
Okay. Well, let's say hello to some people that came in here early and often. So
sure.
Buckshot Kid was first. He says, "Hey, Moan." I said, "Hey, back." Daniel Gygax is here. Skaven yes is here. He didn't say go Big Red though. Bob Swanger says, "Have a great show. We'll watch later." Make sure you tune in on Friday, Bob, because we're going to talk a little about Penn State, and I have some questions for you.
Penn State.
Hello, y'all. Utah Graphic is funny. Yep, it's a setup.
Good to see you, Stormy.
And then Mr. Bomber and Miss Becky, Buckshot and Scavin, yes, following suit.
Hey guys.
Will we see no expansion without UVA to the Big Ten? I think we'll be fine. Again, we won't get too steeped into politics here yet, but you've still got a solid 18 months before that Board of Visitors gets flipped. So still time for Virginia to bale hay and make it to the Southeastern Conference. As they say, to be the champs, you have to beat the champs. Absolutely correct. And Ohio State's best win is over Texas, which is another team in the top 12. Which I think there should be some disagreements on Texas at 11, but we'll see. Sean says, here we go with Notre Dame. Sean, we got to mention it. I know you think it's my personal bias that I'm just attacking Notre Dame, but you have to mention it when Notre Dame's ranked that high with 2 losses. And Miami, one of the teams they lost to, is ranked 18th. Buckshot Kid says, go Navy. Yeah, that could have been a superstar game for this weekend, too, if Navy would have been able to pull it out last weekend. David Sabinosh, the Pisces. I like it, David. And with the Notre Dame, the ACC is jammed in the butt. With no Vaseline either. 6 of the top 12 are SEC teams, but these releases mean nothing. And the committee will put in who they want in the December 7th release, with the earlier versions weighing zilch on it. 100%.
That's not actually true, though. Kalani, that's not right. Last year, if you watch the rankings, you will see that there was a difference. If you are higher in the CFP at the very beginning, when you lose or if they're changed, you're not going to fall very far. Whereas those schools that were right on the edge, barely getting ranked, hello, BYU, trying to do the climb, that was massive, right? We went from 13 to 9, and then 7 or 6 or whatever it was in 3 weeks. And then the minute you lose, they drop you 12 spots. And see, I'm going to do the same thing with the teams that were already high in the poll that lost. They didn't drop very far. And the ACC got 2 teams in, largely because of where they started in the rankings.
Well, that and the championship game for the ACC was a
which broke everything.
Yeah, which broke everything. I mean, listen, if that game does not go down the way it goes down, BYU makes the playoffs last year.
I don't know. Miami was up there. Ole Miss,
Miami was up
South
there
Carolina,
too.
Alabama.
Yeah.
They were 17 at the end of the day, Mo, right? They kept them out of that 16 on purpose. If they would have been in that top 16, top 15, they would have had to say, "Oh, there's BYU."
Well,
But they left them at 17 for a reason. I promise you.
There's an interesting thing here because we see it every year, whether it was the 14 playoff or now the 12-team playoff. But every year, somebody in the lower rankings, that 16 to 25, somebody always breaks through and hits that top. Every year, somebody breaks in and hits that top 12 and really makes things interesting. It's like the committee will move people around based on who you play. Like, I'll be honest, if Oregon goes out and loses to Iowa, they're not going to drop far. But if Oregon loses
far enough.
But if Oregon loses to, say, like, if they had Purdue on the schedule, they would drop a mile. Like, it depends on who.
That's a great question. I asked that last night, Becky.
Yeah.
Is Iowa in the top? Is Iowa number 20 just to set up the game against Oregon?
No,
because I think it is.
No, I've been saying that Iowa should have been ranked for a while.
Iowa
should have been ranked for a while.
I think they're 20. I think there's teams that are behind them that could have been 20.
I mean, they're the only team that has given the number 2 team in the country a game. The only team.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to agree with Kaylani. I think this is more the earlier versions allow them to put together storylines, to put together wins and losses, to boost TV ratings, and to justify where they're trying to get to at the end of the season. It's just a justification. I don't think it weighs as heavily as Bomber does, but it weighs something, but not. I don't think it weighs as heavily.
Yeah.
We got a $5 super chat here from Rock and Rant. Since I will not need the money for playoff tickets, shout out to Texas, who lost to a team we beat too, and hi Notre Dame and Mario, you owe me.
Miami is the new every year we'll get screwed team. I cannot believe what has happened the last 2 years with Miami, and they've done it to themselves.
Some of it's Miami's fault. They shouldn't have lost that SMU game,
but they shouldn't be behind Notre Dame either. So, square that circle.
Well, here you go. Let's put a hurricane coming through.
There you go.
Stand back. There's a hurricane coming through.
By the way, my brother recently got married. His new wife gifted him Big Ten championship game tickets.
Whoa!
And I about lost my mind. There is no worse way to tempt fate. So I told him, I said, you better enjoy that. You're probably going to watch Indiana versus Oregon in the playoffs.
I was just going to say, who's going to be in that game?
That's what I mean. That's like that's just a terrible. That's a terrible jinx for Ohio State. And I told him that. I said that's terrible.
Yeah, I would not do that either.
I said, I know it's early, but maybe
that is double jinx.
Like it sucks to say it, but that the game is going to come down to, the winner goes to the Big Ten title game probably.
Yeah, we have to see what happens. Obviously,
I don't know.
Like, Michigan's only got one conference loss, so.
But Michigan struggled against Purdue this past week. Let's be honest. So, but Ohio State's got to play Purdue, and Purdue are the spoiler makers.
Well, here's the thing. Wasn't that game at Purdue?
It was at Purdue.
So here's the thing I've noticed about Michigan. They are really, really good at home, not as great on the road. And we've seen it a few times now. Like, they struggled to beat Purdue on the road. They struggled at Oklahoma, which it's Oklahoma, but like both of their losses are road games, guys.
Absolutely.
Hi, Rock. Good to see you.
We'll see you, Rock.
So much.
Good luck. Remember,
are we leading into his show again, Moen?
I believe he's got a show later tonight, or he's got something.
But are we doing the lead-in thing where we end?
He should. He sets all that up. So
okay, all right. Great, awesome.
Remember, make sure you lose in the beginning of the season because it's not supposed to get pulled off there. Because it's supposed to count more, but apparently it does
not. Does
not. Again, look at Alabama. Look at who they lost to, and they're ranked ahead of BYU. And I saw somebody up here complaining that BYU has beat nobody, but they have lost to nobody either. They've lost to nobody. Alabama lost to Florida State.
I think the big reason why they're behind some of those teams, just being blunt, that Colorado win was a 3-point win. Like,
hey, look, they've been down this year. There's no hiding, but they also have a true freshman quarterback.
Yeah, no,
That's not normal.
No,
That's
like I said,
normal.
I mean, like, you're winning games. That's all that's important. I mean, like,
yeah,
I watched Washington win every game by a score.
Right.
Eventually, eventually, they go, okay, they're just really good. And they just
Jay Hill's defense is bend but don't break, right? Yeah. Keep it all in front of you. If you're a Seahawks fan, you know what that means.
Yep.
Just keep all the defense in front of you and just don't let the game breaking stuff happen. So you're gonna have a lot of close games. It's just
I'm just saying where they have put Utah in this poll, where they have moved Texas Tech in it, because I think Oregon should be in front of Texas Tech.
See, I don't. Who has Oregon beat?
But who have they lost to? Oregon's loss was to Indiana. Granted, it was at home, but it was not like it was a blowout loss. Look at how Indiana's been beating people by 40 and 50 points. They didn't do that to Oregon.
Yeah, but ASU had their starting quarterback, who's probably going to be the NFL next year on his injury, and he was dealing BBs. So it's not like you're playing a team that ASU went to the playoff last year and was one play away from getting to the Final Four.
I'm just saying I will have serious issues if BYU wins this week. I'm going to have serious issues next week if they are not in the top 4.
If BYU wins this weekend, I'm going to be in a coma on Sunday. I promise you. I will absolutely, because everything says being on the road. The only thing, 2 things for reform. One's a day game, which is extremely good, because if you've ever been to watch Texas Tech night games, it's theater. The crowd noise it's not all directed down on the field. It's more a flat stadium. So the sound isn't necessarily there, but they have the pyrotechnics, and it's cinema, right? During the day, especially at 10 or 11 a.m. Central Time, people are just, they were partying Friday night. They're just rolling out of bed. It's going to take them an hour and a half, 2 hours to even wake up. So I just, the day game part of it, and coming off a bye week, Texas Tech's playing 6 games in a row. I just go ahead and bet Texas Tech all you want. This is a trap game for Texas Tech. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, like, here's the big difference between Texas Tech and Oregon right now is Oregon hasn't beaten a ranked team in the CFP, a CFP ranked team, whereas Texas Tech has beaten Utah. So that, I think, is like probably your factor there, but like, it would be a great game to watch. Oregon at Texas Tech would be fun. You remember the last time they played there, right, guys?
Yeah, that was
the pick 6 to win.
hey, Steven. Hey, guys, how are we doing tonight? Good to see you.
Yeah, I've got a direct response to this one, Bomber. I would be doing so much better, Steven, if that kid had broke for a late touchdown in that Ohio game against Miami in the Battle of the Bricks. I had the over on that game. I had the over on. I had Ohio with the points. I had over. I had Akron with the points and over. The one thing I didn't hit was the over because you guys had it tied 6, or it was 6-3 at halftime in a MAC game.
Bobcats, let's go.
What in the hell? It's Maction, guys. Not, non-Maction. Let's get some points scored, all right? Let's do congratulations. You did win the Battle of the Bricks this year, Bobcats. Congratulations to you. I'm just saying, come on.
That was a fun game. It was a fun game, but I was also slightly annoyed that was on Tuesday. Or it was a Tuesday night game. I'm like, really, Mac? That's a game you go, we're going to move to Saturday?
Yeah, 28 points were scored in the fourth quarter last night. Yeah. I just needed 35 scored in the fourth quarter. That's all I'm saying, guys.
Okay, so Ohio State, let's talk about the number 1 team. And by the way, good to see you, Greg. Greg's in the comments. I appreciate Greg Flugar, friend of the show, obviously. Ohio State wins out, right? Wins the championship, all that stuff. You guys get that dreaded bye week. Does that make you nervous at all?
No, and I'll tell you why. There's a great guy on Twitter, Kyle Lamb. If you're an Ohio State fan, you should be following Kyle. He knows his stuff. He actually went back and looked at it. If you look at Ohio State's games this year, they're actually shortening their games to reduce the amount of wear and tear they put on their team so that they have more.
BYU does that too.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
And he
trying to
believes
shorten
they've
the
actually
games,
he
longer
believes
plays.
if they keep up this pace by the end of the year, they're going to shorten it by a game and a half to 2 games.
Yeah, it's strategy. Believe me,
So
there's numbers behind it. I promise you.
yeah,
People don't understand. You go out and do the run and shoot. Your team's not going to go undefeated. You're going to lose some games because the other team's going to do a slow snap count. They're going to tire and wear you out slowly. And at the end of the season, every one of those plays it doesn't just multiply, it quadruples and whatever. And now all of a sudden you're super, super tired. See, I don't want that bye. I want BYU to have a home game, which would be magical, by the way.
I have no problem taking the bye. Yeah, I just see you just risking more injuries or a potential team-altering injury in an extra playoff game. I'd prefer not to have it. I will say this: if you notice one thing about Ohio State, and Kyle brought this up, beyond the 50-yard line, if they get beyond the 50-yard line, they have taken more deep balls this year, just so far, than they took all of last year. Because again, they're just shortening their drives. They're just trying to get, okay, we get past the 50, throw it up to Carnell, throw it up to Jeremiah Smith, and we'll go.
A lot of fourth downs.
Yeah,
a lot of fourth downs.
Yeah, so
I'm trying to extend drives, 13, 14 play drives. I mean, the defense is just dying by the third quarter. Yeah, I don't know.
Meanwhile, Washington wants to ground and pound you.
I think what Washington's doing is smart, though, right? You look at the quarterback they have. I think Washington's doing great.
No,
they just need to keep winning.
I mean, it's fine. It's just the injuries. Yeah. The injuries did take a toll. I mean, it's partly why the Ohio State game got out of control, and then the Michigan game was just sophomore making sophomore mistakes. So, but like you get into these games and you start to grind and you start to do this stuff. So I'm like, everybody's worried about the bye this year because of what happened last year with the bye. It's like it's 10 days, 12 days off this year. So like, yeah, everybody else will have that month off for the bye, and these other teams are going to play like 12 days after the fact that first weekend they're going to start playing that Thursday or whatever, or Friday or whatever it is. Like, all you have to do is you have to look at what the NFL is doing when the NFL does this stuff. Like, Oregon last year kind of did a lazy way about it. They just practiced. But I think what you'll start to see coaches do is get the pads out, kind of hit a little bit, do some things a little more physical to try to get them back into that like mentality. Everybody learns from the previous year.
Sure.
So I think if you want the bye, I would prefer the bye so that my team could get healthy, because your team's going to walk in there 100% healthy. And if anybody says, well, it's rust, correct. But at some point, the rust shouldn't be on the defensive side of the ball. It should be on the offensive side of the ball. So
I would say it's coaching. I wouldn't blame the players at all.
Exactly.
I think you're exactly right.
That's the thing. If the coaches can get them going and get the right scheme, they have a chance. And you have to figure Ohio State looked like the big one is Ohio State and Oregon in the Rose Bowl last year. Ohio State looked at what they did and didn't do against Oregon, and they watched what everybody else did to have success against Oregon, and they just went out and did it. Oregon never fixed their problems. Ohio State found them, exploited them, and moved on. But that's a once in a like I said, they will change all of this if every year the teams with buys keep losing. It will get looked at. But I the only way to fix it, of course, is you have to expand. So they have to get to like 16 or 24 teams. And
I love 24 teams.
So,
by the way, the Big Ten and Fox are happy for the 24 teams. I'm just telling you right now.
Which means ESPN and SEC are against it. So
yes, and they own the contract at least.
And of course Fox would want that because they'd get games.
Yeah.
ESPN can't show them all.
There should be a national investigation into how it didn't go to Fox in the open market last time.
Well, Fox didn't pay enough. I mean, that's.
I don't think it went to market. If I remember right, I don't think it went to
I think
market.
they had a
I think
clause
ESPN has the
in their
first
contract.
right
Yeah.
of refusal. They have
Okay.
to give it to them,
Yeah.
and I think that's what happened because Ute and I were like shocked that Fox didn't come in and had like buy half of it, right? All of a sudden, overnight, it was only ESPN again. And I asked Bob a question. I want to clarify that. I'm not 100%, about 99% though. I don't think it went to the open market. I just think they took that first offer. It's like, that's enough. And
Yeah,
I don't understand how that works.
Like you said, I think the same way you think. I think it just came down to they had a clause in the contract that gave them the right of refusal before
Yeah.
it go to market, which
That's
is
right.
like a standard thing that we know happens in all of these contracts. Like
Absolutely.
every conference has it. So
that's what I think. I'm waiting for Bob to confirm that, by the way.
Yeah.
Sure. David Sabinosh, as a UVA fan, I'm just enjoying this ride. As in, I like this season, regardless of what happens the rest
UVA.
of the year.
Go Cavaliers.
Congratulations. I mean, yeah, UVA has definitely outperformed expectations this year. So even if you don't make it, you definitely have something to be proud of, and you got a good foundation that you're working with there with Tony Elliott. So
could you imagine being a Washington State Cougar fan, knowing that you're not ranked and you lost by combined 5 points to two teams in the top 15?
Yeah.
Because you got blown out. You got blown out by North Texas and Washington.
Boy, Becky just couldn't resist getting that Washington State dig in there.
Well, I had to.
They was looking at that angle all day.
They couged that game against UVA. They blew that game. Like UVA didn't do anything to win it. Washington State gave it away.
Unfortunately, that team's going to be picked apart at the end of the season too.
Oh yeah.
Greg says last four opponents of Oregon are combined 24-8. Ducks go 3-1. They most likely squeak in. Yeah, the Ducks still have to play Iowa, USC, and Washington, guys. Yeah. And those are all three ranked.
Minnesota sandwiched in there. Yeah. And
with Minnesota in there. But,
Friday night Minnesota game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think Greg's probably assuming that one loss is to Minnesota.
Hey man, again, at the beginning of the season, that Minnesota has talent. I don't know what their injuries are like or anything, but I like what Minnesota's putting together.
I am very curious because it's supposed to be rain and sleet or something like that in Iowa this weekend, in Iowa City. That's going to be a very fun game to watch. Which I didn't know this. I don't know if you guys knew this. Do you know how many touchdowns the Iowa quarterback has thrown?
No.
4.
How is
4
Iowa still
and 4 interceptions, and they are 6-2.
Moen, I'm just doing your picks here.
Okay.
Discord, and
hey, I'm
telling you right now, Florida State, Clemson, and LSU, Alabama. That's like needles on my eyeball now.
Listen.
And what are you doing to me, man?
That is a good start. We're talking about the CFP setting up storylines. I'm setting up storylines. Everybody
is crazy.
Everybody this year had Clemson, Miami, and Florida State, or some variation of that in their top 3.
I did. I admit it.
I did.
So it would be wrong for us not to pick that game.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. Like LSU and Alabama is a rivalry game. Like that can go. That can go either direction.
Yeah, but it's at Bama.
It's at Bama, but like,
bad.
I mean, Bama's got Texas looming next, or not Texas, but Oklahoma looming next week. Like,
listen.
Can I split the Florida State Clemson game? Can I take half a win? Can I just pick them both? Because that seriously is, I don't even know what to do with that.
Listen, that was one of the top games this season. This is where I think game day was supposed to be.
Yeah, this is ACC Network, right?
Is it on ACC Network?
It's ACC Network.
I think it is. Yeah, this might get 350,000.
Well,
you can't tell.
You can't tell.
No. I'll bet you this. That game's going to draw a couple of million people, but we will never know.
Yeah, on AC, if that happens, Becky, they will promote it. They will say, "Hey, look what we did."
It's the same thing the Big Ten Network did last year when Washington and Indiana drew over 1 million. They're like, "Wait, we got 1.5 million."
All right,
Right,
I'm going to
but
take
the
the home
ACC
game and just ride with it. That's
Yeah, the ACC network doesn't release, or they're not Nielsen rated
that's
games.
crazy.
No,
So
That's crazy.
they will absolutely release the number of people who stream
I'm
it.
sure they will, but I'm just saying if ESPN releases a number, I'm not exactly trusting how they got to that number.
Well, I think like if it's a streaming number, because you can't watch it on YouTube TV. So,
Right.
Which
How did I
everybody
do last
had it.
week, by the way?
No,
How did I
I'm just
do that?
saying that if you look at what ESPN has done this year, they have calculated numbers that I think are, they're saying basically, well, if you combine all the watchers from this platform, I want to see the metrics on how you're determining a watcher on a platform.
I would like to know how long of a stream. That has always
Right.
been
How
my.
long are they
told us-
watching?
How long do you have to physically watch?
Bob told us.
What is it?
Yeah, it's halftime. Sorry, it's kickoff, it's halftime, and then it's the end of the third quarter.
But that's
So
for
I'll-
traditional television
traditional
ratings.
television.
Well, he didn't differentiate for
'Cause I
me.
mean, like,
I
if
asked
I-
him
if I-
how they
like-
counted views across platforms, and he told me those were the.
Okay.
So I
But
can
I'm
follow
like-
up with him. It may have changed. Mo.
No,
He
no,
may
because
be
like
right.
I think what like Mo and I are asking, and Mo would correct me if I'm wrong, but we're saying if I just turn it on for 20 seconds at the end of the third quarter, does that count as watching it? Or
I don't know. How do they do radio
like, is it
ratings?
Streaming, like it's,
Well, that's what I
understand any
mean.
of it.
like,
Yeah, I
it's
don't know how they
streaming,
rate any of that stuff.
I can.
I do, but I mean that's completely. They usually do it with a handheld, like a watch.
Am I the only one that took Navy? No, Daniel
No.
took Navy.
I took
Okay.
Navy also.
All right.
I didn't like the point spread. Point spread. got me on
26 and
that
a
one.
half, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go Navy.
I'm just saying Notre Dame has been beating the crap out of everybody lately. Not named USC. They're gonna do it again.
What sucks is I'm without even knowing it, I'm picking the same way as Daniel, and that doesn't help me climb on him.
You have to go opposites.
I never look.
With the Big Ten's weak scheduling, Ohio State's got to be worried about not being battle tested. They got to win over an SEC team. That's the greatest thing you could possibly have.
They beat number 11 Texas, and they beat number 23 Washington.
And they're going to play Indiana.
And they're probably going to play Indiana.
Right.
And they're playing
they still
Michigan,
have
who's ranked.
Michigan on the schedule. Like,
Right.
well, when you break it down, at the end of the day, all these teams play 2 to 3 total ranked teams.
We will
Like,
know who
Ole
is
Miss-
who.
Ole
in
Miss isn't
4 weeks.
like Ole Miss isn't playing any of the big boys in the SEC. Not one. They're not playing Alabama or Georgia.
They play all kinds of made-up games.
They're not
Becky.
playing Texas or they play Oklahoma.
Hypothetical transitive property games.
They have these hypothetical games. Lane Kiffin's winning all the time.
I know. I like Lane Kiffin on Twitter. He talks so much trash. It's great.
Oh my gosh.
David Floyd says if Texas Tech was undefeated, they would be 4. I disagree.
I disagree.
I think they would be probably 7. And
They
BYU would be 8.
No, I don't know about that, Moen. I'm not sure that's true.
No, their best win is Utah. That's it. Utah, which is 13. I think they're properly rated. That's why I was saying I don't know if BYU or Texas Tech. I don't know who they actually overrated, but I think one of the two got overrated.
I don't think either was overrated, Becky.
No,
I don't think either one is overrated.
I'm saying not by much, maybe one or two spots. But like if it's an eyeball test, I mean the eyeball test says that I don't think they could beat Oregon.
Based on what? More hypothetical transitive games. This eye test crap has got to go. I don't know how. I need to start. I don't know.
They literally said. Hold on.
Something.
They literally said on the show last night that
I know.
Notre Dame is 10th because of the eyeball test.
I know. I hate it. They said it last year too. It's
almost like as if we don't have data points with them playing certain teams that they ranked over. Just saying out loud. Saying out loud.
Eyeball test is so 1980s. And back then it was a Wild West.
I mean,
for sure.
Oregon. I think Oregon's in the same boat because
I don't think Oregon's as good as they were last year.
That's what I'm saying.
They're not.
They're not as good. So
I think they're 9th because of eyeball test too. But like, I can't say.
Listen, the amount of talent on that roster, the coaching staff they have in place in Oregon, there is no reason they should not win out.
Let's go, Antoine.
They're going to be favored. They're going to be
BYU
favored.
wins. Let's go. I will say this. NIL and transfer portal is hitting Oregon, just like it's hitting everybody else. There is a limit to what these schools can pay, even at 30 and 40 million, if you include the money from the 20.5.
It's not even money at this point. Like Oregon lost a five-star.
It's opportunity.
Corner.
Yeah.
5-star and 4-star corner both left this week.
That's right. Yeah,
Then
let's go.
Playing.
That's what I'm saying.
They're not playing.
Texas Tech lost a 5-star D end tonight.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I might have that position wrong, but he's like uncommitted. I'm getting a better offer somewhere else.
Ohio State lost a 4-star offensive tackle. He decommitted. But it's a playing time thing. At some point, you have to go, where am I going to play?
So Oregon. When does Oregon win a national championship then? Because if they didn't do it last year, I don't know if it's coming.
See, the thing is, and I said this to somebody recently, like out of my friend group who's an Oregon fan. I said, they're like, Dan Lanning's never going to leave. And I said, Dan Lanning will leave if they go 8-4 this year.
Yeah, they're not going to.
Because they have a $40 million roster.
Yeah, that's
with more talent than half of the Big Ten. If they go 8-4, he's going to think that he's going to realize he can't do it there, regardless of how much they have, like resource-wise. Which, believe me, they you have Nike essentially as your backing, as well as the founder of Nike. It helps, but like at some point you have to go, are we going to do it or are we not? Because Texas Tech just went out and had the #1 portal class and they're owning everybody, just dominating.
But again, they're going to max out.
Yeah.
Eventually Tech will max out too, because there's only so many guys you can play in a game. There's only so many snaps. So
it's not a 50-person roster like in the NFL where you can get the 50 best players.
Moen, do the math. There's 340 million people in the United States. By the way, this is why I started the channel in the first place, is because I just knew that if I just got 0.0000901% of that population, I'd be doing okay. And it makes absolutely no sense when you look at that player base. Tens of thousands of athletes that all get graded to the nth degree, and there's 136 teams. No, not really. There's probably 45, 50 teams that really compete every year for national championship. And believe me, they're not the ones everybody thinks they are. There's a lot of teams in there. People don't know their commitments. And I just think this is a numbers game. Eventually, every team is going to have 4 and 5-star athletes. It's just numbers.
Well, eventually, and that's part of the reason that Ohio State was expecting the decommitment of that offensive tackle.
You plan for it, right?
You plan for it. You've got a budget, and they're not budgeting to overspend on offensive tackle.
And they shouldn't. Well, I don't know. Offense and defensive line.
I hear you, but you got to pay these receivers. I mean, you've got 2 top 5, top 10 pick receivers. You got to pay those guys.
So what's Ohio State's salary this year?
It's probably in that $30 to $40 million range.
It's in the 30 to 40. Washington's is in the 30 to 40.
I think there's at least 20 teams going to be in the 30 to 40 when you include the 20.5. So now on top of that, you're stacking another 10 to 15 out of pocket.
It was like what is it? Texas Tech. The report was Texas Tech sitting around 28 million.
Does that include their 20.5? No, it can't be right.
No, it's just 28 million is what their roster cost them. That's the NIL.
So what is that? That's 18 or 19 million from the 20.5, because what's roughly around 75 to 80%. So then you're going 18, add another 18, that's 36. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Right, like it's a $28 million roster, and they're right where they're supposed to be. So like, I think at some point they're going to say you can't spend more than this. So the problem is the only way they can do this is like, it's not kind of like a salary cap, but they have to cap the amount that a team can spend. And once you do that, then you'll see more parity, and you could see a Purdue suddenly go from last place to first place, like you see in the NFL. That's not going to happen until like we'll never see a Boise State hoist the national title, because Boise State's not going to be able to spend as much as like a BYU. or
not
even
until
a
they're
Purdue.
not unless
They're
they're on the
just not gonna do
same
it.
level.
Yeah.
I agree
They're
with you.
never going to do it. So like,
Yeah.
and they're
I
spending the
agree with that.
$20.5 million, I think, themselves, and it's like,
They're going to be probably around 25, 27 when you include the
Yeah.
17. I bet you they get another 10 million
Yeah.
from donors and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why everything's like making sense. Like in the long
Sure.
run, like you said, I don't even think it's 50 teams. I think it's 40 that can compete. It's
Yeah,
just
I did it.
really
I
like-
did it. I did it a
Like,
while
it's
ago. I need to do it
40.
again.
Yeah.
I think I came up with like 48 or
I'm
49.
very curious though as to how the number of teams that are spending north of 30 million, because I don't think it's a lot. I think you're looking at 20 max,
Mm,
maybe 20 max.
I think you'll be surprised, Becky. Indiana broke the bank, everybody.
And we don't,
Indiana broke the
Indiana's
bank.
gonna,
They broke
Indiana
it.
screwed it up for everybody. Sorry,
They broke
guys.
the wheel. It's absolutely true. Indiana broke the wheel. That in history, we're going to look back and say Indiana is the one that changed everything. Not Boise,
What?
not anybody else.
The only way that Indiana comes back down to earth is when those boosters get tired of losing basketball games.
I don't know.
I don't know that they're going to.
What's
If
a
I
national
don't know if the
championship in
program's
football
winning,
worth to basketball?
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
But you're
And-
you're a basketball school. You're a blue blood in basketball.
You were a basketball school. You haven't been a
They are
basketball
a blue.
school for a
Come
while.
on,
That's what I'm
Indiana's
saying.
blue
Like,
blood.
at
But
some
let's
point.
be perfectly honest. Who thinks Indiana could win the whole thing?
Oh, I think
I
they
think
could.
they-
I think
I think they
and
can.
might. I think they can and they might.
I think depending on their draw, and
They're
they'll
getting
have a
better
bye
quarterback play.
probably.
They're getting better quarterback play this year from Mendoza than they did the kid last year.
Well,
Yeah.
their defense is better. It's in
yeah,
my
their
opinion,
defense.
it's more about the defense.
And they still have, if you like, I don't know if you guys watched the broadcast this last weekend, but they were
I
talking
did
about
not.
they still have a chunk of JMU players on that roster. Think about that JMU team that Kirk Cignetti was coaching back in 2023 that could not play for anything. They couldn't even get into a bowl game. That
Yeah.
team was loaded good, and nobody knows it because they couldn't play for it. They couldn't play for a bowl game.
Yeah.
They were he has like 9. He still has like 9 to 12 guys that are significant contributors that played at BYU, or at not BYU, but JMU. He still has 9 to 12 of those guys that are significant.
That's James
contributors.
Madison, right? Just so
Yeah.
I'm clear. Okay.
Yeah, the team that he was when he took over, he was a coach at Alabama, took over as their head coach. They were still the FCS. They made the leap,
Okay.
coached them through that, and they got the Indiana job. But 9 to 12 guys who were significant contributors this year for Indiana played at JMU in 2023.
It's the same
Could
thing
not
Dion
go.
did. Dion did the exact same thing at Jackson State. The
Yeah.
exact like.
Exact same. But
In
it
fact,
took him a
Cignetti
year.
copied Dion. I guarantee you, he almost did it. It's a script, probably.
But it took a year for Colorado to like showcase the talent, whereas Indiana was just immediately. They were.
I don't know. They won a Heisman Trophy, and they had a quarterback that, except
They
for
didn't do
maybe
any of that in the-
political,
but-
dropped.
They didn't do
from
any of that in the
first
first
round.
year. But again, Bomber, they didn't do any of that in the first year. It took
Yeah.
the second year.
But it was his
Indiana
first
just like-
year coaching. Well, that's not fair because Cignetti was the first year coaching too. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I mean, I think we're talking about 50-50 at this point. There's not a whole lot of difference until Indiana wins something, right?
But
They
none
need
of
to
those kids,
win.
by the way, at least Hunter was a 5-star player. None of these kids from JMU were even star rated.
Right, that's fair. Totally fair. I get it.
Glenn Hanna, I don't know if he's saying this or not, but it looks like he's saying he's taking Iowa in the 16.5.
Is that what it was? No,
Yeah.
Oregon is 6.5, unless that's a
Okay.
typo, Moen.
I'll check, but I think I checked it. I copied and pasted it from
If you would have
FanDuel,
given
so
me 16, I would have taken Iowa State.
I would've
Or
taken
I'll
Iowa.
double check it, but
Yeah, because it says right. I'm looking right at it. It's
I
minus
took
6.5.
I took Iowa because they're gonna win.
okay. Becky's taking
She's
shots
calling
at
it
the Ducks
outright.
now.
That's great.
The
but
weather
I was
is
doing
not.
points.
I'm sorry, the weather is not favorable to the Ducks. Like it's gonna be
Okay.
cold and wet. They don't play. They just played Wisconsin in the rain. It did not go well.
Well, I think they have a
score
Wisconsin
points.
problem, but
Yeah, but
Iowa cannot score points. What are we talking about?
the Pac-12
They only gotta
they
score
score
6.
special teams points, man.
yeah, they lost 20-15 to
There's been
Indiana.
years of this.
Like,
Yeah, they
Years
played
of this.
Indiana tough.
They
Every
scored.
year,
They
it's the
just-
Iowa exception. They're darn near the Notre Dame of the war.
It's hard to beat a team when they get 6 field goals.
It's just, it's
Unless you're
unbelievable.
Iowa State. If you're Iowa State, you can beat Iowa
Yeah, because you're going to get
That's
7.
because Ferentz has a Matt Campbell problem.
Well,
The
because
Pac-12 has
Iowa.
helped the American get all the G6 exposure and mind share this season with their horrific play, and Boise has fallen off a bit. Yeah, it's true. The American has been the G6
absolutely.
since that USF Boise. It's USF or not USF Boise? USF.
No, it was USF Boise.
Was
Or-
it Boise?
Hang on.
Or
And
Florida.
USF
San Diego
Florida.
State. San Diego State could go 12-1.
Yeah, you know who that one loss is? Wazoo.
All I'm saying is, so what do you
It's
do,
wild.
Moen? I don't know that. I think at the
I-
beginning of the season we looked at USF, we looked at Memphis, and we looked at
That
I think
loss
you go
to Wazoo is
Memphis.
holding them down.
Sure.
I think
okay.
it depends. Well, I think we've got it on our picks, Memphis, Tulane. So
Oh, I do.
yeah,
Definitely.
So,
Who saw San Diego State going 12-1?
yeah.
Well, that's
we'll-
the thing. I just think that loss to Washington State, because that was a blowout, guys. Like, go Google that score. It was not a close game.
No, I don't need to Google it. I bet
Blew
on
the
it.
doors off.
But it was the beginning of the season. Those games don't count. Just ask Notre Dame.
They only don't count if your name is Notre Dame.
I don't think they count to anybody. If you're gonna lose in the first 3 weeks. That's it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and lose. It's okay. Just lose in the first 3 weeks.
Well, because you're
Alabama,
a different team. I
Notre
think, like,
Dame. I mean, there's just goes down the line.
well, like Bomber, if BYU lost their first game and then went completely through the Big 12 like a buzzsaw, and
Yeah.
everybody else, like you'd be like, yeah, we're a better team that first week.
That's what Utah's saying right now, right? They
Yeah.
lose to Texas Tech and BYU, the two best teams in Big 12, and yet they're the next best because they lost to BYU and Texas Tech. I just don't get this theory how you win by losing.
That's why I keep saying I think Utah's overrated. I think they should be lower than Miami.
Yeah, I'm on record.
Sean, and by the way, Bomber brought up Notre Dame there. I didn't bring it up. Bomber did. Notre Dame's going to take a Big Ten spot with the Big Ten only getting 2 bids. No wonder you need AQs to survive. That's fine. Just one of those 2 teams will win another national
Yeah,
championship.
like, they'll probably
Which
win the
is-
national
How
title.
many-
Who cares?
How many SEC teams are in the top 12, everybody?
6.
4, because you give away
Mm-hmm.
the ACC and you give away the G6. There are 4 SEC slots.
But
How many
in the
Big Ten are there?
rankings, sure, there's 3.
There's 3 Big 12 or Big 10 teams. There's 3 Big 10, 12 teams.
I'm
No
gonna say it.
ACC teams. So what are we talking about here?
I'm going to say it out loud. Somebody of those the 4 Big Ten that are in the last like 7 or 8 whatever spots, like 19
Right.
through 25. One or two of those teams are going undefeated. One or two of
It's
them. Are
possible.
gonna go
Sure, that could absolutely
undefeated. And they're
happen.
going to leapfrog everybody because they're all ranked and they're all playing each other.
There's only 10 spots on here that are available on the outside, everybody. The 12 and 11 are gone. Just don't even count about it. We shouldn't even talk about top 12. It is literally a top 10. That's what you're going for. By the way, the top 10 in the 80s was all anybody cared about. There was no top 20. There was no top 25. It was top 10 or nothing.
I will say
So-
this though. I think UVA could shock. UVA would shock some of these teams.
Yeah,
Again,
maybe.
Their only loss is a non-conference loss to NC State, which sounds weird to say.
It would be hilarious for them to lose to Ole Miss. I don't think that happens, but
No, but
that would be
like
funny.
UVA could shock somebody here. And if
Sure.
they keep winning, they're just going to end up in the top. They'll end up in the top 10 by default.
BYU Notre Dame would break the internet. I'm just telling you.
Catholics versus Mormons.
There's so many storylines there. It's not even.
Well, that's if you believe. If BYU wins, they're not going to be number 7. They're going to be number 4.
Yeah.
At the worst case scenario, they'll be number 5 playing.
I hope they're
12.
number 5 so they get a home game.
Yeah,
That's all I want.
I know.
That's all I
Just
want is
a
a
home
home game.
game.
Provo in December, baby. Let's play some football. That's a dream.
This is great. Becky just brought up this point. Moen, are you worried about losing to Michigan for the 5th time in a row? I feel it happening again. Go Blue. I'm absolutely worried about it. I'm terrified about it. I don't want to ever lose to Michigan, ever, ever, ever. And the fact that my brother got a wedding gift of Big Ten championship tickets
that is
before
funny.
Ohio
That is
State had
funny.
wrapped it up definitely also adds cause to that. But yeah, listen, if Michigan wins out, and they've got to win over number 1 Ohio State. It's going to be hard not to leap them up, especially with some of these teams have to fall, or not necessarily have to, but probably will. I mean,
No,
Oregon's
they will.
got,
Yeah, sure they will.
Oregon's got Iowa, USC, Washington. I mean, those are all losable games for Oregon.
Alabama has some big. I mean, I can't remember all the head.
Alabama's got Texas, and then they have Auburn, and then they have their like FCS program. Or whatever.
And
Georgia's got Oklahoma, and Georgia's got Oklahoma and Georgia Tech still to go.
Yeah, and Texas has Texas A&M still on its schedule.
Yeah,
and vice versa. So,
yeah, and Texas has literally Alabama or Georgia and Texas A&M on the schedule. So
Texas Tech only has BYU. BYU has Texas Tech and Cincinnati away. So there are games for every one of these teams to potentially lose. There's absolutely.
But right now, Cincinnati's not ranked. It's not going to weigh as big unless Cincinnati can win out until they play each other.
See, they were 25, right?
No, Tennessee is. Tennessee is 25.
I thought. Oh no, they were 20. Wait, they were 25 in the AP poll.
Probably 25 in the AP poll, but the CFP, the Tennessee ran.
I can't remember. I went through it last night.
We could argue Tennessee at 25 until we're blue in the face, but
yeah, I
don't really care about them. I don't really care about them.
Yeah, I don't know. 25.
I don't know why they're there, but whatever. Filler.
You need major breaks, like probably calculus for a team at 25 to climb that far.
With 3 losses.
And you have so many 1 and 2 loss teams, no loss teams ahead of you.
Yeah, they have 3 losses. They're pointless. And I think that's what the committee is saying. If you're not in the top 24, you have no shot.
I think you're going to see a BYU and a Texas Tech with 1 loss go into the conference championship game. I think the ACC is a 1-bid league, and the G6 is a foregone conclusion. So what's that mean? You're playing for 1, 2.
This becomes the issue.
9 slots?
Hold on. Here's the issue, though. If Virginia wins out.
Not even 9.
If Virginia wins out, they could get the automatic bid, but you're forgetting that Georgia Tech still has the number, 5 team in the country on their schedule.
Well, sure. Georgia Tech, sure.
Georgia Tech could have the 1 loss heading into that ACC title game. Like, they're still a 2-bid. They would leapfrog. They would leapfrog Utah in a heartbeat. And Oklahoma and Texas are going to lose. They would leapfrog them.
I think the Utah thing is a mirage. The Utah thing is a mirage.
There's still a chance the ACC gets 2 in.
Man, there's still.
But you're kind of hoping that Georgia ends that if you're the Big 12.
But let's be honest, Bomber. That Utah being ranked that high significantly helps BYU and Texas.
Oh, hey, look, I'm not lying. It is incredible. The Big 12 has 3 of the top 13 teams. There's no doubt about it. And I said it at the beginning, and I got to go. It's been an hour. I didn't even mean to stay this long, but this has been fun, Becky. I would just say that I think, again, this CFP is an overreaction to what happened last year. I'm a big social look at what people do, read people's behavior and all these other things, and I think this is just like politics. It swings wildly way one, and then it swings wildly way the other way. And I think that's what we're looking at here is the CFP that was wounded in the popular culture last year. The Big 12's now getting the bounce. Utah has been the benefit of that, but I think so is BYU and Texas Tech. So, we'll have to see. All these teams, we got weeks to go before we rest. And on that, I will leave you, Mo. And thank you so much for letting me stick around for a little bit.
Yeah, well, I tried knocking you out of here, but somehow you got admin access, and it wouldn't.
I just kept coming back. I appreciate everybody watching tonight. You guys have been great, always. Mo and Becky, we will see you later. We got surprises Friday night, everybody. I'm just letting you know.
Absolutely. Tune in on Friday for myself and Bomber and Wild Ute in the Big Freaking Friday show. Ute will be joining us this week. I want to thank Bomber for stopping by. Let me change my media assets to the 2-person background.
We'll see you guys later.
We'll see you. And then we will go to, there we go. We're back on 2-person. We're going to stick around for about another 15 minutes, guys, and answer some more questions and take your comments. Just do a quick reset here. If you're a first-time watcher, please give us a subscribe. Those subscriptions really help us. Give us a like on the channel as well. Those help us in the algorithm. If you're watching us on demand, give us a comment in the comment section. We usually respond to every comment we can. And again, that helps boost us in the algorithm. Doesn't cost anything. If you want to help give a donation to the channel, you can hit the little cash icon. From there, you can become a member, gift a membership, or leave a super chat. New membership video drops tomorrow. Mowing Confidential, Big Money Markets Part 3. Going to record it and drop it tomorrow afternoon, so you will definitely want to check that out if you're a member. And some good information there about the Bay Area and how much money flows through San Francisco. It's quite a bit. It will surprise you. Definitely check that out if you are a member. Let's see. Becky, Michigan is going to win out and beat Ohio again.
Well, I mean, if they're playing the Bobcats, yeah, I think they will. No,
that was a tough Bobcat team last night.
That was a tough Bobcat team.
They bounced back. Yeah, because of Michigan wins, we go to the Big Ten title game, which you would then get blown out by Indiana and not make the playoffs. Because I mean, Ohio State would be an 8 seed and win it all.
I mean, like, Marcus, you have to admit, like, Michigan is not the same team away from the Big House. They're just completely
They're not,
different.
but Michigan, Ohio State does have to play in Michigan this season.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I think they could beat them, but I don't think it'll be what was it, 13-10 last year?
Yeah.
I don't see that, but like, I mean, if it's snowing or something like that, I could see that. I could see it being problematic.
Sean says Texas and Oklahoma are going to lose at least one more game. Let's go Utah. Texas will probably drop one to Georgia.
I mean, Texas has Georgia and A&M. The odds of them winning both, yeah. But it does set this up, Moen, and it sets up that one of those two could have 3 losses and get in. So, like, they have to win, like, they have to lose twice to ensure they're out.
Clayton says, can't wait till next year. The SEC has to play 9 conference games to see how they do in the standings. That's true.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Where's Ohio State going to be seeded after another Michigan loss? Number 8, and they'll win the national championship again, Sean. I mean, that's...
If they go undefeated the rest of the way and they lose to Michigan, they're still making the playoff.
Yeah. They would still come in at number 8. I mean...
They might not even be... They might be like 5 or 6.
Well, I think they would have to be whatever ranking gives them a home game. So, yeah, they would probably have to be 5. Well, probably
I think they would,
6.
if they're number 1 and they lose to Michigan, they're not going to drop more than they've never dropped a team that's been number 1 farther than number 5. So I think they'd end up right around there. Unless it's a complete utter blowout.
My brother and his new blushing bride might have to go watch Michigan play in the Big Ten championship game. Maybe go there and just root for Indiana. Antoine Johnson says Tech won't make the Big 12 title game if they lose. That's correct. I think Utah desperately needs Tech to lose, and they need Tech to lose badly.
They need Tech to lose more than once.
Yeah.
They have to lose twice. They have 3 games remaining. They have to lose 2 out of those 3 because they hold the tiebreaker over Utah.
Utah will start falling as SEC and Big teams below them continue to win. Becky already kind of covered that with the leapfrogging.
It's just an inevitability, especially like Iowa. Iowa has Michigan or has Oregon and USC on the schedule.
Kaylani L says these things are released to give sports media something to talk about. Otherwise, NFL dominates because its games are on Sundays, Thursdays, Saturdays, depending on where they're playing. By the way, speaking of Michigan, we haven't even covered it yet. Michigan pulled the plug on their Germany game. If you guys did not catch that, it is now in Ann Arbor after all the pomp and circumstance about how they were going international. The country of Germany banned them.
Can we just say, though, just like all honest truth, who the hell would want to go watch Michigan destroy Western Michigan in Germany? I'd be blunt. Like, I'm a Husky fan. I would not go watch the University of Washington play Western Michigan anywhere. I probably wouldn't even go if it's in my own stadium. Like, because it would just like, I'll just sell the ticket, make $20 and be like, ugh.
Yeah, let's put it this way. I saw a lot of Michigan fans on Twitter/X/whatever, saying that they were doing this as a benefit for Western Michigan.
No,
because it was just so much easier for Western Michigan to travel from Kalamazoo via bus ride.
No, you guys couldn't sell the necessary flight packages that are required to secure the stadium because they had to pay for a stadium. And the Big Ten is like, this isn't like the Big 12 doing it in, where are they at? England at next year. I don't even know if they're at Wembley or not. But like, it's not that where it's a conference game. No. This is a non-conference week 1. Like it was supposed to be week 0. Now it's week 1. But like nobody was going to go watch that, guys. Stop. I wish, like, here's my thing. I wish Michigan and Ohio State fans would come back to reality and just admit you didn't want to do something. That's why it happened. Like,
yeah, well,
just admit
that's
it.
true. That's what I mean. It's a little bit of copium. I thought it was interesting that Michigan's altruistic side developed, and they decided to make it easier for Western Michigan.
Yeah, literally all year, like a Husky, like a Washington fan, we would literally be like, "We're not going to go watch that. That's too expensive to watch a blowout. Just get it for free on TV."
Let this sink in. Tennessee's only outlook is they can be the spoiler for Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt lost last three are Auburn, Kentucky, and Tennessee, and they should win that Auburn and Kentucky game.
They should.
They should. So.
Tennessee, I'm so curious what the over-under is going to be in that Tennessee game. Like it feels like the over-under, like 84.5.
I bet it'll be at least 64.
It'll be 64. It's got to be
64.
Like 58.5 to 64, right in that range. What do you think?
I would put it at 64. If I was going to put it at anything, I'd put it at 64.
Vegas probably has to, otherwise they'll go broke if it's lower.
I don't think JMU's strength of schedule gets them in over USF, North Texas, or Tulane. If Memphis isn't the American champion, I don't know what their strength of schedule looks like. And that's the other thing we really haven't scratched the surface on is strength of schedule, strength of record metrics, how those really played into these selections.
I would love if they just released that information rather than leave us guessing on what it is, because all we have are the ESPN metrics, which always sway toward the SEC. But hey, Herb Street says he's an Ohio State guy, and the SEC signs his paycheck, so he's clearly not biased. But all the metrics that ESPN provides us sways heavily toward one conference. I would like to see I would like to see what they have, because clearly what they have is not going to sway toward any conference. Clearly we know they sway based on who the head person of the president is, or the committee at the time, but I don't know. I would like to see all the data.
Ryan Willie with a $5 super chat. Wisconsin plays Pitt in Dublin in 2027. I was just going to bring that up. The Dublin games have been much more competitive games.
Yeah. And the Irish seem to be really big in seeing those. But I'll be honest, Wisconsin fans aren't traveling to Ireland to get drunk in a stadium, and they could just do it.
It depends on who their coach is in 2027.
Still their coach.
Yeah.
Ryan, if Luke Fickell's still your head coach, it's going to be nothing but Irish and Pittsburgh fans, because we know Pitt fans have money.
Yeah,
they'll
travel. That's actually a good matchup, though. I think that's a good matchup. Wisconsin playing Pitt. Yeah. But that's what I mean, and that's the thing. You're actually playing a competitive game in Ireland, and I think that might be part of the problem. Trying to schedule it for Germany. In Ireland, I mean, they've got accents, but they speak English. In Germany, yes, there's some German people who speak English, but you can't expect that. Yeah. The norm is going to be they speak German.
Yeah. And I mean, like, Germans love the NFL, but they haven't, everything you see when they talk about American sports, the Germans haven't grasped the whole college football concept, like the UK and Ireland.
Australia.
And Australia, and even the Chinese and the Japanese. I mean, the Japanese have their own college league.
Yeah,
which is fun.
And they did the Japanese kicker. They showcased that string earlier this year. Thank you for the super chat, Ryan. I'll give you a little bit of Wisconsin. I don't know if we can convert this into an Irish jig, but Maybe we'll have to ask some of these music majors if they can do that. Thank you for the super chat, Evil Badger.
I bet you we could get AI to do it.
Probably. I just would be interested to see what it sounds like as an Irish jig.
Super curious, yeah.
And then we get Michael Flatley to do a river dance for it. Well, those two teams want to beat the hell out of each other. Talking about Tennessee and Vanderbilt. That's an in-state rivalry. Both are mouthing off towards one another. Can't wait for this one. I hope Tennessee wins.
I mean, it's nerds versus rednecks. Like, yeah.
I'm just tired of Vanderbilt talking like they've won something. I get it that you're good now, but you ain't won anything yet.
Like, I understand you had to listen to years of us just talking down about you. Like, I get it. I would be like, hey, but like Purdue's been good and they've never talked like this. Like,
yeah. Kenneth Maynor says the CFP committee should release a G6 top 5 to see where they stand. We have no idea since Memphis isn't ranked. I think they have no idea, Kenneth. I really don't. I think they're waiting until the end of the season, and whoever gets that slot will get that slot. And it's, it's mandated, so they can't do it begrudgingly. But I think,
that's why I think they should release the next, like, whatever group is until you get to that G6. Like, are they 26? Are they 27? Are they 31, 35? Could they be 50? We have no idea. But it would be nice to see. Also, it'd also just be nice to see who else is ranked in between and see how they see what their thoughts are on the G6. Because if Memphis is below, say, a 4-loss, like Big Ten school, how, or an SEC school, like, how would you feel about that if you're a Memphis fan getting ready to go to a playoff? Like, just
it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. Here's your little sounder here, Kenneth Maynard, since you are a pirate with a pirate PFP.
Do what you want because a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
Thank you for the super chat, sir. But yeah, I think it's, again, they don't know who they have ranked top 5. I don't think they know anybody beyond top 2 or 3, to be honest with you. I think they look at records, they look at highlights, and that's how they determine it.
Like, I have a weird feeling it's probably Memphis, Tulane, and USF are the top 3, because there's nobody else that's like standing out, because Boise is 6-3 and they lost to USF, so I can't put them ahead. But everybody's got 2 losses because none of these teams I would have thought Ohio, after their win earlier this year over West Virginia, was going to start to creep in there maybe. Nope. They've lost 3 times.
Yep. There needs to be a G6 playoff because this is asinine. A 2-loss SEC is going to get left out because of this. Watch. Well, absolutely, they'll get left out. But that's
2-loss Big Ten is going to get left out. Like,
yeah, it's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, you've got to make sure that you mandate a slot in there for the G6. I completely understand what you're saying, Marcus. It would be a fun playoff to have a G6 playoff, but I think what you're going to see in the future is I think you're going to see that between the G6 themselves setting that up to get a team into the playoffs, or potentially get more than one team into the playoffs. I think you're probably going to have the PAC and the American, maybe CUSA, maybe the MAC jump in there and say, let's do our own postseason, ranked matchups to end the season for us.
Like, you know what you'll see is those non-conference games, aside from being against each other, they're going to schedule the bottom tier of the Power 4.
Yeah.
They're going to start scheduling the bottom tier. So the Purdue's and the Arkansas's, and because that's what Notre Dame does, essentially. I mean, Notre Dame's 6 wins. Worst team in the Big Ten, the worst team in the Big 12, or not the Big 12, the SEC. They have a middle tier team in the ACC. They have maybe like one of the top, like they have Boise. You could say they're maybe 1 or 2 in the Mountain West, maybe 3 or 4 now. And then they have USC as their best win. And then They're playing Navy this week because it's a rivalry. But when was the last time like Navy beat them? Like it's been a few years.
Yeah.
Like
been a while.
Like you're not going to see this stuff because like what's the point?
Stormy Cyclone, San Diego State and James Madison should not be overlooked. Yeah, Becky brought up JMU and Bomber brought up SDSU.
We just need more like and here's the thing, like James Madison, I don't know if anybody's watched James Madison or not. They are the craziest team to watch because their first halves, the games are tight. Their first halves are just, the games are close, they're tight. And then all of a sudden they come out in the third quarter and like Old Dominion University, it was like I kid you not, and that's a rivalry game, but I kid you not, Old Dominion was going toe-to-toe for the first half. It was like a one-possession game to end the first half. Neither team had punted. Neither team had done anything but, bless you, my dog's sneezing. Neither team had done anything differently than the other team. They were very evenly matched. And the final score was like 56 or 58 to like 21. They just blew the doors off of them in the second half. And they did it again last week to their other opponent. I can't remember who it was they played last week. They did the same thing. It was a tight ball game in the first half. They dropped 56, 57 on them by the end of the game, and they hadn't scored in the second half. James Madison just confuses and boggles me.
Looks like ECU is doing the opposite of scheduling bottom tier teams. They open next season at Alabama. They're going to Tuscaloosa. That's a huge payday. That could also be, well, you never know. Alabama has trouble with opening season games, so especially under Kalen DeBoer. So you might have a shot there, Kenneth Maynard. You might have a shot. But you then, even if you do win, you might have a season like Florida State's having. So I don't know if you really want to go that route, but I'm sure you do want to go that route and beat Alabama, and I can't blame you. Only a matter of time till James Madison joins the American. They're an affiliate member in swimming and women's lacrosse. It's been speculated for a while. At some point, if the ACC dissolves or has a mass exodus, you're going to have to see some kind of conglomeration of CUSA and the American.
Well, I think like JMU in that case, JMU might get an invite to the ACC. They fit the mold.
Maybe. Sure.
The private school, they fit the mold. But I mean, like joining the American, I mean, the Sun, they play in the Sun Belt. Like the SBC is, they are, what is it? What is it? The SEC fans call them? They're thorns. Like they lose to those teams on a regular basis. It's like the Mountain West with the Pac-12. It's like, I don't even know who the Big Ten's issue was over the years, but like the Big 12 had some issues with some teams from like, the Conference USA themselves over the years. Like
in the Big Ten, it would be the MAC. It would have been the MAC.
It would have been the MAC, but like they usually blow the MAC teams out. But like every once in a while, but like the Sun Belt, just for whatever reason, they go into an SEC school and they catch them sleeping, and they just beat them. Those JMU public.
Kenneth Maynard's letting you know JMU is actually a public institution.
I lived in
think
Virginia.
You're thinking of Liberty.
I'm thinking of Liberty, and I've been to Virginia. I've been to JMU's campus. Gorgeous campus, by the way. If you guys can ever get out there, it's in the middle of nowhere. But no, it's like it's a great campus. It's nice. It's hard to navigate though. But JMU is like, I don't know what to make of them because their biggest rival is what is that college in William and Mary, and William and Mary is never coming up to the FBS level. So.
I thought they had a rivalry with the Spiders in Richmond.
They did too. Yeah, Richmond as well. Yeah, because they were all in the same conference. Like Old Dominion's a newer school. Like they've only been playing FBS football for like 18 years or something like that. It's not been all that long. But yeah, it was like them and like Villanova. They were all in the same conference together. But yeah. Paul
Feinbaum is going to lose his shit when the SEC as a 2-loss team get left out. You think I think he's going to lose his shit on that. Wait until a Big Ten team wins it for the third year in a row, and he has to leave the country.
Because he did say he would.
He did say he would. So,
but I mean, is that before or after he runs for Alabama Senate?
And that's true. But maybe he should just go back to Ecuador with the rest of the marine iguanas.
Yeah, there we go.
And fit in there. All right, Becky, that we'll end it on a Paul Feinbaum comment. What's your one for the road, Becky?
Big thing. The games are starting to heat up. Buys are starting to become less and less. We're going to start to see who's healthy and who's not. Just remember, because your team does not win does not mean that your season is over. There's still a lot of football left, and there's still a scenario in which everybody has 3 losses. That is still a thing. So don't think you're out of it just because of where you're ranked. Like I said, teams have come from out of nowhere to the top 12 every single year after this first week. But I do think it's telling, though, that Tennessee at 6-3 is the 25th ranked team. Like, if you're not in the top 24, you have no shot, is what it tells me. So.
Yeah, and what it tells me is, again, to get to the conclusion of this, the question we asked, it's a setup, man. It's not. It's a setup.
It's a setup.
They're building narratives. They're building storylines to boost ratings. Ultimately, the teams they get in are going to be the biggest brands. Yes, Notre Dame will get in if they're a 2 or 3 loss team because they're Notre Dame.
Yeah, and yes, Justin, you're right. For the G6, if you lose a game, your season is done.
Yes.
The
Definitely.
playoff is this year, unlike last year, which I think last year more than one team had a shot. This year it definitely feels like the Americans champion is going to be the representative, as it should. Yep. I think they play the best football.
Yep, I agree. I think they're the best G6 conference, at least this year. For myself and Becky, we want to thank you for watching The Take. We will join you next week. Hopefully Sergeant Pickles will be with us. We'll cover a topic that's not the top 25 in college football rankings.
Hopefully an Oregon loss.
Hopefully an Oregon loss.
They're wearing green. They're wearing their green apple. They're wearing the green apple with the bright yellow.
I actually like those green and yellow uniforms.
Yeah, the white jersey, the apple green pants, the white. They look really nice, actually. They look really good.
Yeah, that'll go good with that John Deere logo on the Iowa field.
It's so so gonna look like a John Deere logo.
If they would just color that right, they could blend right in. They could just drop down and hide a guy on the field in camo. Do that old trick play where the guy drops to the ground and then pops
I don't
up.
think anybody's wearing camo ever again after what Miami wore. So.
Those were terrible.
Washington is wearing camo next week, by the way, against Purdue. So.
Ooh. All right. For myself, for Becky, we thank you guys for watching us. Tune in tomorrow night. Bomber's going to be doing a live sit down with John Kurtz. We'll also have that members only video tomorrow that'll be dropping late in the afternoon. And then on Friday, we will see you guys for the Big Freaking Friday show. For myself, for Becky, go Huskies. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us tonight, and we will catch you on the flip side.